Are you able to see, Pooja, what I am writing here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Krishna, we have seen already BBT theory, which is valence bond theory, and next one is crystal field theory. Okay, limitations of valence bond theory, all of you go through that one. Okay, then you come to this point. So why we have studied already VBT theory? Then once again, why we are coming to the crystal field theory? It involves a number of assumptions only. From the valence bond theory, there is assumpted that like valence orbitals are combining together to forming the covalent bonds like that. They have assumpted there is no so much practical information. It does not give quantitative interpretations of magnetic data. Okay, quantitatively we have calculated in D block elements you have studied to calculate root nn plus 2 by using that values, and whatever it is according to the valence bond theory, those were not matching few things. So that is the reason some more extras were the theories. So that's how they have come. It does not explain the color exhibited by coordination compounds. Okay, it does. So regarding the colors, this valence bond theory have not explained in very well. It does not give a quantitative interpretation of the property of the coordination chemistry, coordination compounds, how they are stabilized thermodynamically and kinetically. This theory didn't explain. Okay, of the coordination compounds. It does not make exact predictions regarding the tetrahedral and square planar structures of coordinate complex. So for example, this complex is there, NiCN4. NiCl4 is there, NiCl4. Okay, regarding this concept, this one is basically square planar and this one is tetrahedral structure. So why the structure is this, particularly it is giving square planar, why it is giving only tetrahedral, what is the reason? So that valence bond theory didn't explain it. Okay, so that is the reason one new theory here have come into the picture, that is crystal field theory. Very important. Now isomerism is removed, so question you can expect from crystal field theory also. Anyhow, valence bond theory, IUPAC of crystal field compound, this coordination compounds is 100%. Okay, apart from this one, they may ask crystal field theory also. Okay, usually isomerism they used to ask. So these three parts, isomerism. So these three are the 100% questions, guaranteed questions, and this were also sometimes they were giving. Now, since isomerism is removed, so this became now more important. 100% question you can expect from this crystal field theory also. Okay, so what is this crystal field theory? That we will see in detail. The relationship between colors and complex metal ions. Okay, so this gives clear-cut idea about the colors, why these particular compounds are attaining particular colors, okay, in particular metal ions. And let's take some idea about this one. What crystal field theory is focused on? Energies of the d orbitals. So you have to understand energies. Energy, what it is? Energies of the d orbitals. In valence bond theory, we have not discussed anything about the energies. But crystal field theory is explained about the energies of the d orbitals. And what are the assumptions? Assumptions means he assumed, the scientist Bensehatte, okay, and Lucien Huck. So these are the two scientists, they have given this theory, crystal field theory, that is given in your textbook, that you go through that one. Okay, so assumptions, ligands, and ligands what he has considered as a negative point charges. So crystal like, for example, you know, like sodium chloride is a crystal. Okay, in solid state you have studied about the crystals, right? So like that he has imagined. And whatever the ligands here, the positive one is this one, negative one is this one, right? So according to him, this negative point charges, whatever the negative, for example, in this Cr NH3 6 is there. So this ligands he consider it as a negative point charges. Negative point charges. Why it is negative point charges? Like NH3, it is having lone pair of electron, which is having the charge of negative. So that is the reason he assumpted that one. These are the point charges, as like in crystals, whatever it is, the negative charge is there, like that he assumed this one. Next, metal ligand bonding. So metal ligand bonding, according to the valence bond theory, he said that bond is like a covalent bond nature. But what he said, what this crystal field theory said, metal ligand bonding is a entirely ionic. It is completely ionic. For example, if metal is there and ligand is there, for example, NiCl4 is there. So even though it is the coordination compound, he assumed that you have to assume like this is the negative part, this is the positive part. That is how the net charge is coming positive charge on this central metal ion. Okay. Vidisha, are you able to hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So another important thing is that strong field. Strong field, we have seen. What are the ligands of the strong field, Vidisha? What are the strong field ligands which we have discussed in the valence bond theory? 3 ligands I have said. What are those 3 ligands?
Ammonia,
Very
carbon,
good. Carbon monoxide and
thiocyanide. Cyanide.
Cyanide. Okay, these you remember. Okay, thiocyanide also. It's not thio. How you have to pronounce it, thiocyanide. Okay, these things you have to remember. Rest all the examples, whatever you were given in the NCERT, that only I'm talking about. Rest all like Cl, halogens, whatever it is, Cl, Br, iodine, whatever it is. And apart from this one, what else like H2O? So these are considered as a weak field ligands. So what they're saying that strong field that creates the low spin. Low spin means what happens that, for example, this one is there, orbital is there. Okay. So if strong field ligand is there, that will pair up. Electrons will pair up. If cyano is coming, for example, Cr, Cn is there. 6 cyanides are approaching to the chromium. So what it will happen, that will be paired. This, whatever these 5 electrons are there, that will get paired up. This we have discussed already. 2, 4 like this. But if weak field ligand is there, that will not pair up. So if pair up means the spin is less. So that's how we are calling it as a low spin. High spin means that should have more unpaired electrons. So who will give that one? Weak field. Okay, they will give high spin. So what happens in the case of low spin? Large splitting of d orbitals. Whatever these d orbitals are there, that will split. That I will explain anyhow now. So this weak field is there, that will small splitting of d orbitals. The splitting is small splitting. So what is that one? We will just take idea now. Okay. So what exactly I am talking about here? Crystal field theory. Okay. So this is called also CFT. CFT. We try to understand what I mean is here carefully. Okay. First, you should know the shapes of the d orbitals. So what are the shapes of, what are the different d orbitals, Pooja, can you tell? DXY, like that orbitals are there, no? What are those orbitals? Aishwarya.
dz square,
Okay, dz square.
dx square, y square.
Okay, dx square, y square, very good. Dz square, fine. Then dx square minus y square. Okay, very good. Then Aishwarya, what are the rest?
dx square,
dyz dzx.
Okay, dxy, very good. Dxy, dyz and dzx. Okay, so these are the orbitals which you should know. If you understand these concepts, that will be clear to you. This total theory. Okay, dx square minus y square means how this is the orbital of z. and this is dz square, and this is x and y axis. Okay, how these orbitals are look like, you can see here like this along the axis. These are along the axis. So what about the dxy? This is the orbitals of xy, and this is the orbitals of yz, and this is the orbitals of zx. Okay, so here these orbitals are like between the axis, and this dyz also between the axis. So which orbitals are different? Aishwarya, few orbitals are different from this first, so others. So what are different? Different you can see.
DZ.
Huh? dz square is different, and what else? Very good. Another orbital also.
Dx square minus y square.
So why it is different, Aishwarya? Why it is different, Vidisha?
Sir, dz square is perpendicular and dx square minus y square is along the axis.
dz square also along the axis only. Okay, this
No,
is
sir.
also. Huh?
Yes, sir.
This is also along the axis only, dz square. Okay, so if this concept is clear, how to write these orbitals, so this total crystal field theory will be clear to you. Okay, so two types of complexes are there. Basically, two types of complexes we see. So what are those one? Like, for example, metal is there. Okay, metal is there, and ligand, 6 ligands. Okay, and another one, metal is there, 4 ligands. So this will give which geometry this will give? ML6. Vidisha, what the geometry this will give?
Octahedral.
Very good. This will give octahedral, right? And ML4? Aishwarya, ML4 which shapes? Huh?
Tetrahedral square plus
Very good.
pyramid.
So this will give two types. One is tetrahedral and another one is square planar. Okay. So basically, what happens in this case? Try to understand what happens in this case. The approaching of ligands are different. The approaching of ligands are different. In the case of ML6, it is different. In the case of tetrahedrals, is different. In the case of square planar, it is different. Due to that one, what happens? Orbitals will get different type of energies. Orbitals will get different type of energy. So what is mean of this one is, like for example, in the case of octahedral complex, the ligands whatever will come, they will approach along the axis. They will, for example, ligand is there, they will approach along the axis, always along the axis. Now they approach to the central metal atom. How they are approaching? Along the axis. So due to that one, what happens? Who will repel now? So these dxy, dyz, dzx doesn't have their orbitals along the lobes, along with their axis, right? So who one is having? Only dz square and dx square minus y square. So ligands are means what? Negative charges only. According to the crystal field theory, these are point charges. And orbital central metal atoms are having the electrons inside present. That means that electrons are present in this orbital. So what is happening here? When ligands are coming along with the axis, so what happens here? Which one will repel more? This dz square, dx square minus y square, or dxy, dyz, dzx? So which one will more repel? Pooja, what do you feel?
Sir, dxy. Sir.
dxy. Vidisha.
dz square and dx square minus y square.
Very good. So this is the meaning of this puja. So what I am saying, this one is the negative charge. Okay, this also negative portion. And ligands in the case of octahedral, I am talking about the octahedral case. In the case of octahedral case, what happens? that ligands, whatever it is there, they approach along the axis always. So due to that one, these will repel each other. That is the reason what happens. The 5 orbitals, whatever it is there, these 2 orbitals will get the extra energy compared with this one. They will get extra energies. They will get excited to the higher energies. Okay, these will go to the lower energies. So what it is mean here, see, 5 orbitals are there here. I am writing here. Okay, I will take some more support. Try to understand. It's very, if you understand the concepts, you can get the marks easily. I am going to explain you in a very simpler manner. If you don't understand in that also, I cannot do anything. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orbitals is there. One will be dxy, another one will be dyz, another will be dzx, and dx square minus y square and dz square. So these are the 5 orbitals. So what happens? These orbitals are called the degenerated orbitals. What it is called? Degenerate orbitals. So what is the degenerate orbitals means? Each and every orbital is having the same energy. Same energy. Then what happens next, sir? Next, what happens? What happens if metal is there and ligands are approaching now? Now what is happening? Ligands are approaching. How they are approaching? Along the axis they are approaching. So when they are reaching to the metal, when metal is ready to take the ligands, lone pair of electrons from the ligands, then they will get some position now. Okay, they will get ready, they will get some more energy, by that they can split more. So this will move, for example, this further get excite, which all 5 orbital will get some more extra energy. Okay, 1, 2. This takes in 2 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right now, this is called the non-degenerate orbitals. Non-degenerate orbitals. It means that these are ready to break. It's not at break. It is ready to break. Now what happens when ligands some more closer to the metal? So these are, they're about to reach, but when it is completely reached to the central metal atom, now these will split now. These 5 orbitals will split. How they will split? Which one will get higher energy now? These 2, dz square, dx square minus y square. Okay. So this state is called the barycenter. What we call? This state is called the barycenter. Barycenter, and the value of this one is 0. Okay, compared this one, compared with this energy, we will talk about how much it is splitted. Now what happens? This will further split. Okay, so which orbitals I have to write here? Vidisha, which orbital I have to write here? Okay, this is the level of energy. Okay, this is energy only. Energy, higher energy is like this. Yes, Vidisha, which I have to write now? Which orbital? These 2 or these 3?
The above 3 ones.
Aishwarya, which one I have to write?
P orbitals.
Pooja.
Sir, dx square minus y square.
Why it is Pooja? Very good. You said correct, but why? Because sir, आपने लिख दिया इसलिए. Sir, you have drawn so that. Okay. Okay. Here, what is happening? What I said here in the case of octahedral complex, I am talking about all this about the octahedral complex only. Okay. This is about the octahedral complex. For tetrahedral, that will be different. In the case of octahedral, what is happening? These ligands are approaching along the axis. That means that they are repelling. When they are repelling means they are getting the higher energies. They are getting the higher energies. So that is the reason here dz square and dx square minus y square are the splitted. And this dxy and dyz and dzx is splitted. Okay, and lower energy compared with this 0. Okay, this is lower energy, right? Lower energy. So what it is mean that one here, try to understand what it is mean that here 5 orbitals are there, total 5 orbital is there. Okay, from 0 how much energy these two are splitted and how much energy these are get decreased, how much. Okay, to calculate that one among the 5, I am giving you the some short trick that you have to remember here. Okay, so among the 5 orbital, how many are lost here? 2, because 2 get the above side, 2 get. So since energy is decreasing, what is the value of this one? Negative value. What is the value of this one? Negative value. And what about this one? Plus, out of 5, what I have to write here? Pooja.
3.
3, very good, excellent. Now you got my point. Okay, just simply you can remember above this one. Okay, don't get confused. Yeah, among all the 5 orbital, above this 3, this one is there. This is plus 3 by 5. And below the 0, it is below. That's how it is the minus 2 by 5. Is it clear, Vidisha?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now, these 3 orbitals we call together as a T2G. What we call it is a T2G. Okay, what is this G? What is this T? Don't worry. That when you go to the higher studies, you will learn that one. According to the spectrochemical series, these 3 orbitals together we call it as a T2G. What we call it as a T2G. And these 2 orbitals are called the EG. What we call EG. Which one? dz square, dx square minus y square. These 2 are called the EG orbital, and these 3 orbitals are called the T2G. Till here, is it clear? Aishwarya?
Yes, sir.
Aishwarya?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now, here, orbitals are splitting. What is happening? Orbitals are splitting. In the field of crystal, we are assuming it as a crystal and it is splitting. So the energy, whatever it is there, this is energy, whatever it is there, this is called the CFSE. CFSE. The full form of CFSE is crystal field stabilization energy. Okay, stabilization, because those are getting stabilized by splitting. Okay, so this is, we denote it by delta O. O stands for what? Vidisha, O stands for what here? Pooja. Aishwarya, are you able to hear me?
Octahedral.
Ah,
Yes,
very
sir.
good. That is called it as a octahedral. Okay, this denotes as a octahedral. Okay, now how much the value of 3 by 5 means? So not only plus 3 by 5 minus 2 by 5, this you have to write like this, delta O, this much. So in the delta O, this much value. Here you have to write delta O. So this is how you have to write exactly. Now, what is the value of 3 by 5? Calculate in decimals, you have to tell now. In decimals, you have to tell. 3 by 5 means how much? Another way also you have to. 0.6, very good. Delta. Okay. Plus, plus. And for this one, how much it is, Pooja?
Minus
Very good.
0.4, sir.
This much only. So what is happening in the case of octahedral complexes? When the ligands are approaching towards the central metal atom along the axis, these are getting splitting as a different type like EG and T2G together. So, sir, so what is the importance of this one, sir? You may ask. So, what is the importance of this one? So, we have studied in the D block elements, for example, Cr 3 plus is more stable than Cr. Why it is? Because the reason is that those three orbitals will come here only. Those three orbitals, three electrons will come here only. And these three orbitals are more stabilized compared with these five orbitals. I have asked one exam in the examination among the Cr3 plus and Fe, like Cr2 Cr3 plus and Fe2 plus to the Fe3 plus, which one is the most strongest reducing agent? I said so chromium. Why? Because that is unstable in Cr3 plus. Okay, so I will explain this with you one example. Anyhow, let's take one example which is given in the presentation. Let me see what example it is given from there. From that only I will explain to you. Okay, two examples. So this is what I was talking about. D orbitals in octahedral ligands. What is happening in this dx square minus y square dz square? Ligands are approaching along the axis. Okay, in the case of dxy, dxz, dyz orbitals are like this. Anyhow, this presentation shared with you, just you go through that one. Okay, this is how orbitals are getting average of 3D orbitals. These are called the non-degenerated orbital. This is T2G and this is EG. It is delta O. It is. This all we have discussed now. So an example we will take now, which is CrH2O6. What happens in that case? And CrCN6 4 minus. What happens in that case? In both cases, here it is Cr2 plus only, right? CrH2O6, this is neutral ligand. Here how you can calculate X and minus 6 because Cn is minus 1, right? So 6, X minus 6 and minus 4, total charge. So X is equal to the minus 4 plus 6, that is equal to the X is equal to the plus 2. So here also it is chromium plus 2. Here it is also chromium plus 2. So what is changed here? Ligands. So this is the more important. Here the difference is in between ligand. So this is called the weak ligands. This is called the strong ligand. So we will see what happens with the strong ligands, what happens with the weak ligand. So we will take the example of weak ligand. I will take the example of weak ligand. Then I will make you the concept some more clear. Okay. Now I will remove all these things. I am talking about the octahedral complex only. So octahedral, tetrahedral, these two are most important. Square planar, sometimes they may ask also, they may not ask also, but these two you should be clear the concepts. So what happens now? I am taking the example of CrH2O6 2 plus. Fine. So here the what is the oxidation state? It is Cr2 plus. So what is the electronic configuration of this one? Pooja, can you tell Pooja? Chromium means how much it is? Vidisha, for chromium how much? What is the electronic configuration of chromium? Atomic number is 24. Vidisha, can you tell?
4s1 3d5.
Very good. 4s1 and 3d5. And what about the Cr2 plus case?
4s0 3d4.
4s0 3d4. Okay, very good. So this is the electronic configuration. So how many 4 electrons are there in d orbitals? 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. Now non-degenerated orbitals also 4 will be there. Okay. So since it is the big field, what happens? These 4 electrons, how you have to arrange, that only the key thing here. So how you have to arrange here? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And the 4th electron goes here. 4th electron goes here. In which case, this is the case about the weak field ligands. And what about the case of strong field? What about the case of the strong field? In the case of strong field, what happens? Strong field ligands that will pair up the electrons. That will pair up the electrons. Why? The reason is that in the case of strong field, the energy difference between this one and this one is too high. The energy difference is between too high. And in the case of weak field high ligands, the difference between these two TTG and EG are very less. So here, for example, first floor is there. Okay, from first floor is there. Here it is the third floor. And another thing is there, ground floor is there. And another one is the fifth floor is there. Okay, so from here to jumping is easy, or from here to here reaching is easy. Pooja, which one is easy? In the first case it will be easy or second case? Second case. मतलब 0 से तुम 5 में जल्दी जाओगे. फर्स्ट फ्लोर से थर्ड फ्लोर जाना इजी है, जल्दी जा सकते हैं, या 0 से फिफ्थ फ्लोर जाना इजी है. That's what I am asking.
Third, sir.
हाँ, first से third. This means that here the energy gap is less. In the case of what? In the case of weak field ligands. The splitting of energy is very less. Those are weak ligands. Those are unable to split too much. But what happens in the case of strong field ligands? They will split too much energy difference. Due to that one, electron cannot jump from here to two electrons are there. Electrons cannot jump from here to here. So what they will do? भाई मैं इतना दूर तो जंप नहीं कर सकता हूं, मैं सिंपली इधर ही रुकूंगा, पेयर हो जाएगा वो उधर ही. That will pair up. But all this concept didn't explain in the valence bond theory. Why it is pairing up, he didn't explain. So this is the importance of this one, crystal field theory. So this is the case of what? Weak field ligand. This is case for the weak field ligand. Now let's take the example of strong field ligand. So I will take the strong field ligand example. Okay. So what example we have seen now? CN6. I am talking about the octahedral complex only. I am talking about what? Octahedral complex. What I will take now? CN6 4 minus. So here the oxidation state of Cr2 plus only. So due to that one, what is the electronic configuration? 3d4 only. Here you can see how many unpaired electrons are there. In the case of weak field ligands, unpaired electrons are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 are there. In the case of CN6, where I will write here, by that comparison will be easy for you. Okay. So in the case of CrH2O 6 2 plus unpaired electrons, how many? 4 unpaired electrons are there. Due to that one, magnetic property will be changed. This is called the high spin complex. Because if you put the value of n into the case of root n into n plus 2, this value and this case strong field ligand, that will be different. So how that will be different, we will see now. So here 4 electrons are there. Vidisha, what do you feel? This electron can jump now to here, this 4th electron?
No, sir, it will be paired up.
Very good, excellent. So this is what I want to answer from you. Exactly. Now what happens? This will be paired up because this is a strong ligand. Now what happens? This cannot jump here because energy difference is more. It will paired up only. Now how many unpaired electrons are there, Aishwarya?
2, sir.
Very good. So by looking that here, you cannot say it is 4 unpaired electron. No. So that's how importance of this one. All these things did not explain in valence bond theory. Now unpaired electrons became 2 now. Due to that one, what happens? Magnetic properties will be changed. Now root 2 into 2 plus 2 you have to write. Means 2 into 4, 8, root 8 value you have to calculate. But in the case of 4, how much it will become? Root 4 into 4 plus 2 means 4 into root to 24. 24 means how much? Around 4.8 like that we will get. But if it is 2 means that will come like 2.8 like that value come. So in the case of this one 4.8 like that you get. Okay. And in the case of other one, you will get 2.8 like that. That means that you can see difference 2.9 like that. By looking this, you cannot say simply the value of n value. That you have studied in d orbitals. If any ion will give you to calculate. If they ask you crystal field theory, then only you have to explain. In coordination compounds, this is applied. In simple ionic compound, this is not the case. When ligands are approaching, then only this is happening. Okay. So here, this is about the octahedral complexes. So what happens? One more thing you have to understand. This is called the pairing energy. What is this? This is called the how much energy is you required to pair up. Pair up. So in the case of weak field ligands, in the case of strong field ligand, what happens? See, very, very important. This only asked in the examination so many times. Delta O, this is the crystal field stabilization energy. If pairing energy is more, so what does it mean? You require lot of energy to pair. So if you are unable to produce, we cannot give that much pairing energy. So what will happen? That will excite it to the above state. So this is applied to the whom? Weak field ligands case. This is applied to the weak field ligands. Because you require lot of energy to pair. वो easily वो jump कर रहा है क्योंकि energy difference कम है. So तुम्हें बहुत ज़्यादा pairing energy required है. This is case for weak field ligand. This P stands for pairing energy. This P stands for what? Pairing energy. And what about the strong field? For strong field ligand, delta O greater than P. Very, very important. From crystal field theory, from this topic only questions. So they will ask you to write this type of diagrams. That is, they will give you the complex and they will ask you to write this type of diagram. And another thing, they will ask you pairing energy regarding questions and this one. And high spin complex, which one is the high spin, which one is the low spin, and magnetic properties. It's like valence bond theory only. So extra what is happening here? It is splitting due to that one properties are changing. Okay. So this is about the strong field case. What is happening? Pairing energy is less. So that is only the point is saying here. This is the what is if delta O is less than P, or pairing energy is greater. So what happens? The fourth electron, whatever it is for the weak field ligands. Because you require lot of pairing energy. It becomes more energetically favorable in this case. This is for the strong field. So this is the actually T2G4 EG3. T2G3 means what is happening? T2G3 case means electrons went into the dxy, dyz and dzx, and electron went to the extra one also, dx square minus y square, due to the weak field ligand. So that's how you have written here T2G3 and EG1. So what happens here? T2G4 and EG. You can practice for the tetrahedral complex. So what happens in the case of tetrahedral complex? They will approach between the axes. In tetrahedral case, like the case of ML4, they will approach between the axes. So what happens? This will get reverse. This will get reverse. In the tetrahedral, this EG will come down and this T2G will go up. So rest all will be same. Rest all concepts will be same. Okay, you practice that one for tetrahedral, and what happens with the square planar I have given in the presentation anyhow. Okay.